Stay. Good girl.
So you first started out in folk. What were your main inspirations back then?
I guess I listened to like a lot of country music, Casey Chambers, Paul Kelly. When I was in grade 4, I took some like Shania Twain lyrics and I wrote them in my diary and took them to my friends at school and was like, this is my new song I wrote.
Did anyone call you out on it?
No, they were like, this is a beautiful song. Yeah, we never spoke about it again.
So on this album, you actually got to collaborate with some of your music idols.
I did.
Including Paul Kelly. What was that process like collaborating on that song?
Wild, just like, you know, I remember getting to his house and being so nervous and I said, I went to, my friend dropped me off and I went to send her a text message and I wrote FG, I'm gonna vomit, and I meant to write I'm gonna vomit. And then he answers the door and he opens the door and he's like, oh, I just got a text from you. And I was like, what? I didn't text you. And then he reads it out and he's like, OMFG, I'm going to omit. And I was like, what? No! I grabbed his phone, threw it. I didn't, but I was so humiliated and I couldn't believe it. And I, you know, had to tell him, I was like, I meant to send that to my friend, I'm really nervous. And so I guess, you know, luckily he thought that was quite funny.
I used to think it's funny how you go from black to white, and now I think it's funny. Will you tonight?
So where were you when you first found out that Paul McCartney was going to play guitar on your album?
I was in my apartment in like the Lower East Side in New York where I was staying. So I get this message from David, my producer, just saying, you'll never guess who came in to visit, you know, in the studio and who just ended up playing guitar on your song. And I was like, oh, you know, who? Thinking, you know, it would be someone amazing, but obviously not that.
Paul McCartney.
No. Yeah, and it was him. When he came to Australia for that last tour, he invited me to the show and I brought my dad and we went and watched him, and before he played I got to meet him and I got to thank him for being a part of that song, and that was pretty special.
You're clumsy, oh, you keep me hanging on.
So last year you released Clumsy Love, which was a massive success, but was also kind of the beginning of a collaboration with the artist Claudia. For that first video, you asked her to find a crew that was all women or non-binary. How much did that change the experience?
Yeah, I think it changes it completely. You know, when there's a few less dicks swinging around, it can be a bit, I don't know, I really enjoy working with women, and it's something that's important to me is, you know, to have also just like people around me that represent me and represent what my normal life is like. It just really worked and I love working with her, and now we've made, you know, 2 more clips since then.
Do you know what it feels like to get calls in the middle of the night?
So how special was the process of making the video for Better In Blak?
Very special. I recruited some of the most amazing Aboriginal women in my life. I also had my 2 older sisters in the film clip, and it was the first time that the 3 of us were ever together in a room, because my oldest sister, she was adopted out when she was a baby, and so I actually grew up not knowing that she existed. And in high school I remember getting this like Facebook message, I was in grade 11, from someone being like, I'm your sister, and being like, wow, wild. And so ever since then we've just become really, really close. There was this moment, there's this scene where I'm, you know, in front and they're behind me, and we're all crying, you know, at that point, and it's pretty special. I felt pretty like protected and really safe.
Took the color from me, but I look better in black.
You've spoken about a particular moment that inspired you to write that song.
I had this song on my album, which was quite ironic that I was singing this, but it's called Do You Ever Get So Sad? And I recorded that, and we were doing like a live take of that song. My phone just started blowing up, and I was like, what's going on? Somewhere on the internet something's happened. And then I went on Instagram and I had just messages being like, you slut, you know, you should die. Just like pretty much like the worst stuff you could say to another person. And there was just so many people that were saying it, and it was just so much. And I just, oh my God, I just was so sad. I broke down and I just thought, I just left. I just wanted to I wanted to hide, I wanted to delete my Instagram and just not let anybody see me ever again. And then I didn't do that. Instead, I the next day wrote Better In Blak.
Do you think most people would be surprised about the kind of frequency and type of abuse that people of colour in Australia get?
I'm not surprised, and I don't think any other people of colour are surprised. It's so weird because people are like, put your phone away, and it's like, I also want to exist, and I want to be able to exist, and I want to be able to do the things that other people can do without being worried that someone's going to tell me to kill myself. It makes you feel, it's really scary. I get worried for my safety, and it has happened before. You know, the people that say stuff online have rocked up to my shows before.
You have had some pretty ugly and abusive exchanges with people within the Aussie music industry. What's the biggest lesson that you've taken away from some of that?
One would probably be that some things should probably not be solved online. I don't want to be angry anymore. Like it's so tiring being so angry all the time, and that doesn't help me at all. I want to make music, and I just want to get back to writing songs.
I just want to let you know that I'm not angry anymore.
Do you think that the Australian music industry is ready to change, to stop supporting problematic men?
Yeah, for sure I do. I think, but it's something that only happened, I genuinely believe, after people like myself and other people of colour fought for like a long time and had to wear a lot of this. You know, now everybody's ready, and I think it's great, but I think that it's disappointing that it's at the expense of so many people of colour. I remember saying to my mum, being like, you know, if I had any advice to give to a young black woman, it would be to shut your mouth and to never say anything in my industry in particular, because it's just not worth it if you want to survive and actually like be allowed to live. But now I don't feel like that at all. I'm proud of myself for calling shit out when I see it. And so now I would say to young black women is just like, absolutely speak your truth and don't be scared of anyone. And also, I will be in your corner and I'll fuck up anyone that fucks with you.
Just give me a call.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jan Fran. If you like that video, check out another one from the feed, and don't forget to like and subscribe.